what's up you guys, it's me Luke and welcome back to another video, or if you're new here, welcome to my channel. If you're new here, I post commentary and critique and reaction videos on basically anything on the internet that interests me, so if any of that interests you, then be sure to go ahead and subscribe and turn on the post notifications bell so that you never miss another upload from me. Alrighty guys, so today's video is really late, I do apologize. I'm going to be doing my reaction slash review slash commentary to the final 2 episodes of James Charles's Instant Influencer YouTube original reality show. Whew, that was a mouthful. If you don't know, I did a video reacting slash reviewing the first episode, so if you have not seen that, I'll link it up above and down below. And today I'll be doing it for the final 2 videos. I would have done this sooner, but this week, you guys, it has been a week. If you're wondering why I'm not wearing my glasses, it's because the bitches are freaking broken. Look at that. I had to go get my teeth whitened this week. That was the most painful experience ever. I'm moving. My mental health has been on the decline. You know what? We're not going to talk about it. We're not going to talk about it. We're just going to get into the fun of the video. But if you're wondering why I've kind of not been as active on my channel, that is why. But before we get into this video, I would just like to go ahead and give a few words from today's sponsor. So take it away, Luke. So I always get asked tons of questions about what editing software is best to use when you're starting out as a YouTuber. And when I actually started my channel, the editing software that I used was Filmora 9 because they've got a really easy to understand interface, but they've got a lot to offer. Everything is a simple click away, and they've got tons of ready to use titles, effects, and transitions. And they've got tons of extra effects and themes that can be found on filmstocks.com, and they're adding more and more every single week. And since I've used it, they've added some really awesome functions that I think would be really helpful if you want to make YouTube videos or any other social media content, such as their built-in screen recorder, their split screen, and their green screen feature. And on top of that, there's even actually a mobile version of the editing software, so if you don't have a laptop, you can edit on your phone. If you want to maybe edit some TikToks, they've got something for literally everyone, so I highly recommend you click the link in the description to check out their unlimited free trial version. Once again, thank you Filmora for sponsoring today's video. Wow, thanks Luke. Isn't he cute? Alrighty guys, so without further ado, enough of that intro, let's get into it because I'm about to dive in to the final 2 episodes of Instant Influencer. Let's get it. Alrighty, so the 3rd episode is called I Have to Apologize for This ... And this episode did cause some controversy over on Twitter because it's Twitter, and what doesn't cause controversy on Twitter? That's the real question. Okay, so this episode starts and y'all, give me a minute. Okay, so this episode starts with James pretending to be all mad and walking in, and he's like, I know what you guys did, don't lie, blah, 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 blah. You know what? Roll the clip.
Good morning, artists.
Good morning.
Good morning.
We have to talk. So, last night, I got a chance to look back at the footage from last week's episode, and I saw what you guys did. You all look really confused. You know what you did. I honestly feel like you all owe me an apology. And scene.
Oh my god.
Really got me, James.
Jesus
Really
Christ.
did.
And I'm just curious, did anybody actually believe this? Because this is no shade, no tea, no hate towards James, but it was so obviously fake. And the fact that they were all like, oh my god, give this man an Oscar. I was like, yo, that was not it. Maybe stick to the makeup, because acting, it ain't it, sis. Okay, so their mini challenge, if we remember before, they have the mini challenge, which is like just a quick fun thing that just gives them like a little perk in the main challenge. And then the main challenge is like the elimination challenge. So for the mini challenge in this episode, they had to go ahead and create an apology video based on a scenario that James gave them. So they each got a scenario, and the scenarios were really lighthearted, nothing too serious, like, oh, I put ads in my apology video, or I have been using too much clickbait, or just silly stuff like that, which is good. But I think if he had done some serious stuff, it wouldn't have looked too good. I mean, already this didn't exactly look too great. I will admit that I thought it was kind of a fun challenge, but I did think it was kind of odd because the show is supposed to be like training these micro influencers to become macro influencers. So I think it's a little odd to kind of train them to do apologies, because then I guess it implies that at some point you will need to, which I mean, I guess I kind of understand, because a lot of the times when you have a big platform, at some point you're going to slip up. But I don't know, I think maybe that James should have handled it a little bit differently. It just didn't look really great, especially on the heels of some of the previous stuff with James Charles. I probably would have sat this one out if I was the producer. I probably would have been like, you know what, Miss James Chihuahua, maybe not today. Okay. But anyway, that being said, they did it. Kaylin, bless her soul, took it so seriously. She was taking notes like she was doing a university assignment. She cracks me up, that girl. I love her though. And yeah, she just did like a really serious apology. And then Gabriel's was questionable. like most stuff Gabriel does. You know what? This is no tea, no shade. I'm not judging them as people, I'm judging them as contestants. Benny's was super over the top. He had the fake tears. Honestly, Benny just suffers from too much syndrome. He's too much. And then of course, Ashley is kind of the perfect blend of the two. I think she did a really great job. But in the end, the person who won this challenge was Benny, which I guess maybe because James wanted it to be a lighthearted, fun challenge, that's why he chose him. Kaylin didn't actually end up finishing her video, which is unfortunate, but you know, that's something that people struggle with on the show is time management, and they need to get it together. Now we get into the main challenge. So the main challenge was doing a collab, because doing a collab in the beauty industry is a really big thing, apparently.
We have Nikita Dragon, trans icon. The baddest, Bretman Rock. The Latina, Louis. And also advocate for inclusivity, Nima Tang.
I thought it was so funny when they were like clapping, because like it was just like, and it was like really quiet. Am I the only one? Listen to that. Yo, I must be at another level because I thought that shit was funny. But yeah, those are her influences. Nikita's trying to channel her inner Paris Hilton with this little dog that she's holding. Bretman looks gorgeous as always. He just, Louis kind of serving me like teen TikTok boy vibes. Nima Tang, she looks high fashion. She looks bougie. She's giving me luxury, expensive. Okay, so then because Benny won the challenge, he chose Bretman Rock because he said that two of his major influences when he was trying to become an influencer was James Charles and Bretman Rock, you know, cute as it is. Then he got to assign the other influences to the other contestants. So he assigned Nikita to Ashley, which I think kind of makes sense. And then he assigned Louis to Kaylin. I don't know about that one. And then he assigned Nima to Gabriel. Once again, I don't really know who I would have assigned to. I don't think there's like a clear choice or connection, which we'll get to later on in the video because I do have something to say about that. But then they have to go ahead and film a collab. The collab has to be 5 minutes long and it has to like showcase both of their personalities and like be what a collab is, which is like an enjoyable experience that can merge two audiences together and help both people grow but still be like an organic, enjoyable thing. However, James did what he has been doing in the other episodes and only gave the contestants 3 hours to do this. I think it is absolutely absurd. 3 hours to film and edit and upload a collab. I just think that's not enough time. First of all, let's go ahead and speak about Ashley and Nikita. Ashley and Nikita did this twirl when they were in the hallway. You know the twirl, you know what I'm talking about? And that twirl was flawless. I love Ashley, girl. The way they walk in those see-through heels, they give me life. Okay, so they're doing, and I put my feelings about Nikita to the side for this because I'm a homegirl Ashley, because if you know how I feel about Nikita, you know what you know because you've seen my video that I did on her. But Ashley, on the other hand, I love that bitch. She my homegirl. So Ashley and Nikita did a collab, and their collab was kind of like more like low-key. Like while everybody else was like filming videos where they were putting on makeup, they decided to go ahead and like really strip it back and like remove their makeup. And I just thought that was like really a cool idea because what they were basically doing was like stripping it back and getting more personable. So Ashley is a single mom who was a teen mom, so she has that. And then of course Nikita is trans, so she has the struggles that, and then of course they're both a little bit of color. So they were speaking about their struggles, stripping it back, and I just thought it was a really interesting idea. I really loved their concept. And yeah, I mean, later, we'll get into the judging later on. Moving on, we have Benny and Bretman. So Benny and Bretman didn't really have a clear concept. It was like literally just like, oh my God, let's do our makeup in 5 minutes challenge. And I was like, okay, seems a bit basic. And also Benny was just being super duper over the top. Like you could tell that he was really like forcing it. And even Bretman was like pulling faces here and there. Like he was like, like I could tell that he didn't even mean to, but he was just like, what is going on with this kid? Like did somebody, you know, give him too much sugar in his freaking cornflakes this morning? I don't freaking know.
I love it. I love it.
Then we have Nima and Gabriel. Now Nima is such a chill soul, and then so is Gabriel. So the video was like super chill, which I guess is okay. But the thing is, there wasn't much conversation happening. And poor Nima, she's so beautiful. She was like trying so hard to help Gabriel quicken things along, but he was just not really getting the memo. Gabriel himself, you know, I don't think he necessarily has the cookie cutter personality to be an influencer, but he does have the artistry. Like the look that he did on Nima, he did a look based on the fact that she is an Aries, which is a fire sign, and it was beautiful. well, I will give him that, but just the collab itself just felt a little bit flat and he didn't really use his time very well. And then we had Louis and Kaylin. I actually really enjoyed their collab. They kind of did a collab based on something that Louis does on his channel. He does like, I'm not familiar with his channel, but he does stuff based on Spanish snacks. So they did something to do with that and it looked fun. You know, they were dancing, they were kikiing, they were getting and going, they were having some fun. I liked it. It was fun or whatever. Probably my second favorite after Ashley and Nikita. And yeah, so that was kind of the collab. In the end, it was a really big crunch for time when it came to the editing booth. Some people did not finish editing. Some people did not watch through it. They were chopping and changing, cutting things out, not putting things in. So obviously when we went to the judging table, it was really nerve-wracking to see what was going to be in front of us. But something more interesting when we went to the judging table is that the guest judge in this one was Lipstick Nick. I don't really know a lot about Lipstick Nick, but what I do know about Lipstick Nick is that she does masterclasses with Jeffree Star and she is heavily associated with him. So I did think it was really interesting that she was on James's reality show when James and Jeffree do not associate with each other. Obviously, people can be friends with multiple people, but obviously in the beauty industry, people usually pick sides. So I did think that was really interesting. I don't know if you guys thought that was interesting. Let me know. I would be curious to know if you guys thought that was interesting because I definitely did. And then of course we had Norvina. Stan Norvina, she's so pretty. She always be serving looks, let me tell you that much. So then we had the judges' critiques. So the judges seemed to really like Nikita's and Ashley's. However, they felt that they should have given a better explanation in the beginning of the video as to how removing the makeup related to what they were doing in the video, which is like getting personal and vulnerable. I didn't think that was necessary. I personally thought it was pretty self-explanatory, but obviously some other people didn't. James Charles. I'm kidding. I digress. The actual collab, they felt like now and then Ashley was like interrupting Nikita. I could see why you would think that because I mean, obviously in the editing booth, they didn't get to watch over that and check as to how that would come across. So Ashley might have cut out a bit where Nikita was actually speaking and it looked like she interrupted her. But then James and Norvina and Lipstick Nick did make a really good point as to how when you are an influencer and you watch a video, you really need to think long and hard about how that video is going to come across to the viewer. So I thought that was really a good critique. I really enjoy the critiques in the show. I think even if the influencers don't win, they still get a lot out of the show through the critiques and they can apply that to their career later on. Moving on, we have Benny and Bretman. One of the critiques of the judges was that Benny was cut off slightly, so he was like sitting out of frame like that. I get that. That's a valid critique. It seems to be something a few people have been struggling with. I mean, it's not that hard to frame yourself up in the camera shot. I know it's a bit challenging with two people, but just like move back or something. Like, get it together. Come on, you're on instant influencer. This is a reality show. Come on, like this is not the little leagues. And believe it or not, Benny's actually 18. I thought he was like 12 or something. So I think that's interesting. So it's not like he's just a little kid. Like he's a grown man. You can do this, boy. Get it together. I believe in you. I believe you can fly. I believe you can touch the sky. Anyway, so they had the same critique that I did. Benny was being too over the top. It felt like he was overcompensating for Bretman's big personality. He was just yelling over the top of him, putting on kind of a facade, and it was not enjoyable. If you guys ever watched Drag Race season 6, there was this drag queen called Laganja Estranja, and she was always like, yes, come on, hunty, work, queen. And like everybody was like, girl, why are you putting on this facade? Like just be you, be yourself. So it kind of reminded me of that. So that was kind of that critique. Oh, something else I did, which I thought was really interesting before the judging, is they would always be like, to the judges, they would look at the thumbnail and the title and they'd be like, would you click this? Would you click that? I thought that was interesting. And then moving on, we had Louis and Kaylin. So the judges felt like Kaylin didn't speak enough. Like they felt like it was too much of the Louis show and that Kaylin didn't get like enough of her personality across considering it was on her channel. She said it was because she cut it out, which I do believe her, but then also Louis like super over the top. So I wouldn't have been surprised if maybe he was just like interrupting her a lot when they were like filming the collab. But yeah, other than that, I think they really enjoyed theirs. Next up was Nima's and Gabriel's. Now this one was a hot ass mess because in the editing suite, you can clearly tell that a lot went wrong. I mean, first of all, the framing was really odd. Nima was just sitting here and Gabriel was like standing doing her makeup, so you couldn't even see his face. They were barely talking. The video just kind of started without an introduction. And then there was just like this weird time lapse with like no audio. It was very awkward, very rushed. And yeah, needless to say, it was the worst of the bunch. Then they go to the judges' critiques, which we just discussed. I don't remember exactly in detail what they said after that, but okay, yeah, so there wasn't a winner, and I saw a bit of a conspiracy going around that the reason that there wasn't a winner is because Ashley had won too many challenges, so it would have looked a little too obvious, even though we knew from the get-go of the series that Ashley was going to be the winner. So it's like, you're not fooling anyone. So Benny, Ashley, and Kaylin went through to the finals, and Gabriel went home, which is unfortunate because I do think Gabriel is a sweetheart. I just think he's not ready yet. I just think he needs to come into himself a little bit more, get to know who he is. You know, he's got the artistry, he just needs a bit more of like that entertainment factor. That was that episode. It was a really good episode. I really enjoyed it. Moving on to the finale, which I was literally so excited about, y'all. I forgot how invested I was in this. Okay, so this one was called A Mega Makeup Moment, the finale. Remember to blend and don't blend in. Okay, so this episode does not even have a mini challenge. They get straight into a boob because they don't got time to mess around. So the main challenge in this one is that they have to go ahead and create a makeup look that could become a viral social media trend. They, once again, only have 3 hours to do it, and they have to take like an editorial photo of it at the end as well. James, honey, hunty, that is not enough time, sis. Like, what are we doing? Y'all know that you have enough time to like give them more. I don't get why you're giving them 3 hours. Like, does somebody else have the studio space rented? So Benny says that he already has an idea that he's had this whole time that he wants to do. And let me stop you right there, Benny. That is your first mistake, okay? You don't just have looks stored in your backup plan, okay? Because then you're like trying to find a way for your look to wrap around the challenge instead of finding the challenge and then creating the look. Do you know what I'm saying by that? Like, you know what I mean? He's like, okay, well, I have this look. Let me try and like manipulate it to make sense for the challenge. No. What you want to do is you want to understand the challenge, and then you want to create a look that's going to make sense for the challenge. But Benny was too stuck in his ways, and he wanted to go ahead and do like a bunny look where he created these like bunny ears, and then he had like this cotton shit on his face. And basically he was trying to like go for like, well, I don't know if he was trying to go for it, but like it looked like he was doing a ripoff of Ariana Grande's Dangerous Woman look up here, and then like a bit of a Father Christmas look down here.
You make me feel like a dangerous woman. Yeah.
So I don't like it. It was cute, like a cute little Easter bunny look or like a cute Easter look, but it was clearly not it. He should have known that because James did this thing where he went around and spoke to all the influencers and spoke to them about their ideas to like see what they were thinking. And he said to Benny, he was like, I don't know about this, Benny. Like, it doesn't really seem like it could be a trend. Like, it doesn't really seem this, that, and the third. He was like telling him basically like in nice lamest terms, do not do this, you will lose. Benny still did it. Just
Hey, Jesse. Ooh.
I mean, you can take the horse to the water, but you can't make the horse drink. Period. Okay, next up was Ashley's look. So Ashley wanted to go ahead and do kind of like an off-white inspired look. Now, I don't know a ton about the brand Off-White, but I do know that they like strip it back and like take it back to like labels. So what she wanted to do, like, you know, they'll have a handbag and they'll label it handbag. I personally think it's stupid. I don't really get it. But then again, I'm not rich enough to afford it, so that's probably why. So she wanted to go ahead and paint her face white, like completely block out her entire face, and then write in like quotations like lips, brows, eye, cheek. But she was running out of time, so she ended up having to like wipe half of her face clean to like leave half of her face nude and the other half of her face to have the white with the writing on it. But see, what the problem with that is that she'd already written brows and eyes plural and cheeks plural, even though she'd only written it on one of them. So already there she messed up. And then she forgot to put some of them in quotations. So that was another thing. And then she forgot to paint her ear, so that looked really odd. Like, her ear was just her skin color, and like it was kind of a mess. But she did have the orange tag, which I thought was, you know, pretty creative, pretty fun, pretty cool, pretty whatevs. And then she had kind of like this white like shawl thingy. I didn't really know how necessary that was. And then for her photo shoot, she stood up against a blank white wall with quotations around her. I thought that was a great idea. And then she held up a ruler, which I thought was like a little bit much. I don't think she needed to do that. Now, I understand the concept of like, you know, stripping it back to labels, but I think that it's a little bit boring. I think it would have been a lot more interesting if like, instead of like labeling what her skin is, she would have like labeled something else, like maybe some words that people had called her in the past. I'm not saying she's this, but like, I'm sure people would have said some nasty things about her being a teen mom. So like write those nasty words on one side of her face, like you're labeling me this, but then on the other side, without the quotation, write what she really is. But then I guess that's probably a little bit too similar to Kaylin's idea. But anyway, that was Ashley's idea. I did like it. I just thought that the execution wasn't great, and I thought that it was easy enough to follow as a trend, but I wish that it was a little bit more creative and didn't rely so much on the Off-White brand. So next up was Kaylin's look. Kaylin's look was like, she was gonna write on one side of her face, thought she was, like the misinterpretations of who she is, and then on the other side of the face, she was gonna write who she really is. And then she was like doing a makeup look on each eye to kind of represent that. Now, I thought the words idea was cool. I don't really understand what the makeup look on the eyes had to do with it. For her photo shoot, she had like some balloons, which was, you know, cute. It was a cute little moment, but I think the issue here with Kaylin's look is that she, it was a little bit rushed as well. She was running out of time. They were all running. They don't have enough time. James, give them more time. 3 hours is not enough time. But anyway, I digress. So she kind of like did her photo shoot, but she did it like this. So like say this is the negative stuff and this is the positive stuff. Like she had the negative stuff facing forward, which I think was a terrible idea. Novena told her that because then it's like you're leading with your negative side. You should have led with the side. And then we had the judges' critiques. So for the judging, we had makeup by Mario as the guest judge, which if you don't know who that is, he is notoriously a makeup artist for the stars, specifically Kim Kardashian. He's amazing. I think he's super subdued and super great and super talented. So I thought it was awesome that James managed to bring him on the show. So, and he also gave some amazing critiques. He did not hold back, but he didn't do it in a way that was mean or malicious. He did it in a way that was really constructive. So with Benny's look, they kind of just said what I said. Oh, it's like a cute look. Like it's really cute. And like we can tell that you put effort into it. But like the execution is like a little bit messy and it doesn't exactly scream trendy. Like I don't think a lot of people are going to look at it and be like, oh, I want to recreate that. So that was kind of his thing. And then Benny did kind of get into like a bit of a sob story. Like when they were like, oh, okay, well, what is the meaning behind this? He was like, oh, like my whole life, I just felt like I've had to wear a mask. So this is me wearing a mask. It just kind of felt like an excuse. Don't get me wrong. I'm sure that that's true. I don't want to diminish his pain, but I just felt like he was kind of like grasping for straws. I see this a lot on reality shows. I'm not sure if it's the way that they edit it, but like the contestants will just be like talking and then like all of a sudden they'll just like start crying and get into a sob story. It must just be a trope of reality TV. Anyway, moving on to Ashley's look. So the judges did love it, but they had the same critiques as me where, you know, some weren't in quotations, the writing wasn't as neat, why was only half of your face done, what was up with the ear not being painted, like stuff like that. Pretty much the same critiques that I had. We on the same level. We see each other. And then we had Kaylin's look. I think out of all of them, hers would probably be possibly the trendiest one. I think Norvina was the one who didn't really understand what she had going on up here with the eye looks, but then James was kind of like, no, like the trend is like doing the words and then like the eye looks is like your kind of spin on it, your creative spin. I think Mario was kind of like, you know, whatever, like this isn't really my thing. Out of all of them, I thought that I was like kind of conflicted because I thought that out of the challenge, Kaylin did the best. By the way, I love when Kaylin was speaking about like, she's like, my whole life, everybody's just looked at me as like this stupid, naive white girl, but I'm so much more than that. Like people don't understand my struggle, this and that. I thought that was actually really beautiful and really touching. It didn't feel forced, it felt natural, it felt real. So I was for sure that Kaylin had this in the bag because I thought for the challenge that she did the best. But then again, throughout the entire competition, the person who'd been the most consistent was Ashley. So drum roll. Ashley was the winner of the first season of YouTube Originals James Charles Instant Influencer. I don't think any of us are surprised at this point. She was amazing in the show, period. Really happy that she won. I feel like she's probably the one who could use the money the most. I mean, she's got a son. But yeah, I really enjoyed this series. I'm so sad that it is over so quickly. There will definitely be a season 2 because each video has more than 10 million views on it. It's been super successful. I just like have my fingers crossed that we'll get to season 2 this year. We won't have to wait till next year, and that it'll be longer and that we won't have to pay for it. James, if you're watching this, you did a great job with this show. I'm really thoroughly impressed for your first go around. Alrighty guys, that's it for this video. I really hope you enjoyed it. I had a lot of fun filming this. If you enjoyed it, please give it a thumbs up and comment down below your thoughts, who you wanted to go ahead and win. And if you've not already, please go ahead and subscribe and turn on the post notifications bell so that you never miss another upload from me. If you've not already, please go ahead and follow me on my social media. It's just linked down below, as well as the link to my second channel channel if you want to follow me over there, and the link to my merch if you would like to go ahead and purchase any of my opinionated hoodies, sweaters, or tees. And yeah, quick reminder to go ahead and check the description to check out your free trial for Filmora 9. And yeah, guys, that's it for me in this video. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope you're staying safe, sane, and healthy during these times. As always, I hope to see you in my next one, and I hope that you have a great day or night wherever you're in the world. Bye!